mental reset too, which is good, and it reminds you a little bit of making sure that you don't put in too much for that game as you prepare through that. Now the good thing is you don't know who you're playing until a few days ago, so you can kind of whittle that down. But it's important for the rest, mentally and physically, and then the balance. And I think like with being here with Coach and being a part of the organization where you prep for the Super Bowl, he does a great job of making sure we stay in line and not too much, but enough. And I think that for players and coaches, it's really good.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's Thursday, January 16th, 2025. Stephen St. John here with producer-engineer Jake Gutierrez. Today on the show, we'll talk to former Chiefs offensive lineman Joe Valerio. Joe joins us at 6:30. Then that'll take us right to ESPN senior NFL reporter and Sports Center insider Jeremy Fowler. He'll talk NFL with us, talk about some coaching and GM vacancies, and also help us preview the weekend in the NFL playoffs. And then we'll have our regular NFL insider Adam Kaplan at 7:30. So we are going to load your plate with some football. Also, I feel like I'm comfortable enough saying this. Jeremy Fowler from ESPN will be one of our regular football guests, our weekly guests starting next season. You sign off on that, Jake? You like that? You like that?
I do. I like it a lot.
So go ahead and start adding to the lineup for next year.
No better time than now.
Like a late season acquisition. He comes in and helps us out in the playoffs, in the postseason, and then we're going to work out a deal to have him on the show every week next season.
You like that? You like that?
Yes, I do.
And the football doesn't stop there. 8 o'clock hour, Gary Dieter and Anthony Sherman in studio. 9 o'clock hour, Chiefs beat reporter Jesse Newell from the Kansas City Star in studio. Football from 6:30 until 10. And why wouldn't it be? Because it's Thursday, the Thursday before the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, and then Monday night, the national championship game between Notre Dame and Ohio State. So we've got a wonderful 3 days of football coming up right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. And so on Thursday and Friday, we'll be very, very football heavy. We'll sprinkle in some college basketball. Jake said don't sprinkle any in today, but we have to.
No need.
We have to.
Just go away from it.
We talked about Mizzou getting a big win over Florida on the road a couple of days ago. We talked about Kansas State scoring 2 points over the final 8+ minutes of their loss to Texas Tech. So we also have to talk about what happened last night up in Ames, Iowa, between Kansas and Iowa State. Iowa State wins 74-57 to remain undefeated in the Big 12 Conference. 74-57. Now you have, and this is going to be the tough thing for Kansas, right? If you were sitting here telling me, yeah, it's Iowa State 5-0, and Kansas is 3-2, and they're chasing Iowa State. I said, well, anything could happen. They'll get a rematch, won't they? Yeah, they'll get a rematch at Allen Fieldhouse so they can make up a game there, and all is not lost. Here's the problem. You're not just chasing Iowa State now. Iowa State, Houston, and Arizona are all 5-0 in the conference. That's tough. Iowa State looks like the best team in the conference. They're the number 2 team in the nation. They only have 1 loss. And they backed up everything that we've seen so far with an impressive win over Kansas last night. Iowa State's only loss of the season to the number 1 team in the nation, Auburn, by 2 points. So, I mean, that's look, the only team that's beat them is the team right now that is number 1 in the nation. And they lost 83-81. And right now they sit at 15-1, 5-0 in conference play. It would have been a huge win for Kansas last night if they could have pulled it off. And that would have put them right in the thick of things. It could have been 4-1, brought Iowa State to 4-1, and just been a game behind Houston and a game behind Arizona. But now you're 2 full games behind 3 different teams.
And that's why the loss to West Virginia is just devastating.
Yeah. Yep. You dropped a home game.
Yeah. You dropped a home game, and now you're 2 games back from 3 different teams. So, a lot of work to do. It can be done, but it's a tough road to hoe.
We talked to Greg Gurley and talked about how Kansas needed to lean on their one big advantage, Hunter Dickinson. He was 3 of 10 from the floor, 6 points, 8 rebounds.
Yeah, and Iowa State's physicality definitely got to them.
That ain't gonna do it.
No, they were physical.
Zeke Mayo had 17 points. That's the only player for Kansas in double digits. Curtis Jones was the best player on the floor. 25 points, 5 of 6 from 3. Kansas did not have an answer for Curtis Jones. What do you say? Iowa State's is better.
Really good. Yeah, they were the better team. You heard Coach Self's comments in the intro. They were just better.
Well, if you look at the resumes, they were the better team on paper going in, but then you got to see them play. And you got nothing did anything change that last night? No. Can Kansas beat them at Allen Fieldhouse? Yeah, sure. But now you got to have other things happen. You have a lot of things happen. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out now. Kansas has an opportunity to pick up some wins coming up. They're going to host Kansas State. Kansas State is lost in the woods, so that should be a win for Kansas. At TCU, that should be a win. And then you have a chance to host Houston. You can't lose another home game and seriously contend for
not if you're playing
conference championship.
Yeah, not if you're playing on winning the Big 12. You can't.
They host UCF. That should be a win. At Baylor will be tough. Then you host Iowa State. So, their schedule's not crazy. Then after that, at Kansas State, Colorado, at Utah, at BYU, Oklahoma State, at Colorado, Texas Tech. Those are a lot of games that KU should win. But then they close the season at Houston and home against Arizona.
Massive games.
You got to be, but it's what you do between now and then, and more importantly, what happens to these other teams. Because you don't just have to win; you got to get all those teams. They got to start picking up losses.
I feel like after watching that game last night, it's Iowa State's conference to lose. I hate saying that, but
maybe Houston. They're thinking the same thing, and so is Arizona. I got to see those teams play.
Yeah.
Iowa State goes to West Virginia coming up. They'll visit Arizona on the 27th.
A lot of games left.
They'll visit Kansas February 3rd. They still got to go to Houston. They got a couple of games against Arizona. Yeah, right now Iowa State looks like the best team.
Yeah. Yep. But it's a deep conference, man. It's
Yeah.
It's not a cakewalk by any means.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if Houston won it. I wouldn't be. I mean, we're still figuring out Arizona.
Yeah.
It's hard, dude, when there's new teams and everything else. Point is, Kansas isn't just chasing Iowa State.
No.
If I had to pick Iowa State, that's who I'd pick.
Right, me too.
But again, I got to see Iowa State play Houston. I got to see Iowa State play Arizona. I got to see how these teams match up.
Some great games ahead of us in the Big 12.
You would think.
Yeah.
You would hope. You know? What was your big takeaways from last night besides that Iowa State was better?
I mean, it shows how important Hunter Dickinson is to this team.
What made you mad? Come on, just stop tiptoeing around everything. Like, there's a point in the game you got mad or you said, so this isn't good enough, or that's not, I usually
how
like
they closed
this.
the game out. I think they closed it out with a 12-2 run. I mean, the score.
Were they getting out-hustled and outworked?
I mean, it felt like that. Like I said earlier, it's like they got out physicaled on the inside. I mean, Iowa State beat them up on the inside. They got out rebound. I'm pretty sure every stat they got, except for blocks. Kansas had 10 blocks last night, but they shot the same from the field.
With the play hard chart? What is it?
They won on the play hard chart. Iowa State beat them on the play hard chart.
Wow.
But I mean, they were beat up on the boards. Iowa State was a more physical team, and it bothered. I think
that bothers you.
Yeah, well, it does bother me, but I think how physical they were with Hunter Dickinson and how much it affected him.
Well, what did Gurley say yesterday? That's the guy.
Yeah.
What DeCourcy? Let's just take it to DeCourcy, someone that's unbiased. You know, he said if Kansas is going to win, it's going to partly be because they have Hunter Dickinson, and Iowa State shouldn't be able to match up with him. And so he can't score single digits in that game.
Yeah, and I mean, and he only had 8 rebounds too. A guy who leads the Big 12 in double doubles.
They neutralized him.
Yeah, completely.
Any team that plays Kansas, they'll sign up right now for that from Hunter Dickinson.
Oh yeah,
that's, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like Iowa State's thrilled with that.
You asked me. I mean, I guess the fact that they couldn't find another way to score or take advantage of Iowa State, it's like. He was shut down and nobody else. I mean, Zeke Mayo was great, but it's like everyone else was ineffective. I mean, they shot the exact same from the field, but Iowa State was just great behind the arc.
You know what? Well, that's Iowa State, bro.
Right.
Brother.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
we talked about that. That's like Lethal Weapon 3. They have guards upon guards out there that just shoot.
Yeah.
They're one of 11 teams that's shooting over 50% from the field.
Oh, they shot 61.5%.
And that's not you can't say, oh, Iowa State shot lights out. They were out of their minds. No,
that's just
Iowa State was Iowa State.
Right. And so you're aware of that. You know they're going to do that. And so I guess what you know they're not going to do is be a more physical team than you.
Right.
So that, I mean, you expect them to shoot.
That's it.
Great from behind the arc. And they did that, and then they also, just beat up Kansas on the inside and all over, really.
You know what I like to do? I don't like it, but like after any team that we talk about, I go check out like different, like immediate overreactions on social media.
I saw plenty of it last night.
Well, I know, because there's plenty of it out there.
Yeah.
Well, just like the night before, the K-State mentions on Twitter would burn your eyebrows. Like, woo, these are hot takes.
Yeah, I mean, I saw people saying that, this might be Bill Self's first team to really struggle to make the tournament.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yes. But
you worried about that?
No, not at all. And, I mean, I hesitate to even say, like, don't worry about winning the Big 12. Just worry about your seeding. I mean, of course, the goal is to win the Big 12, but don't lose any more games at home. Finish 3rd or 4th in this league.
Yeah.
Get on that 2nd or 3rd line. I mean, they have a good non-conference resume. Have some big wins in the non-con, so I mean, I hate even. I mean, what a defeatist attitude. What a defeatist.
What is?
That kind of mindset. I mean, I feel ashamed to even say.
Ashamed of what?
To say, hey, this is the Big 12. We should, this is our conference to lose. But it's not. It's not the story anymore.
Are you saying that this year or in general?
No. This year, and
but it is different.
Yeah, it feels different. You're talking about in general. Just
it's different.
Yeah,
you know it's different.
Absolutely.
But guess what? You're not alone.
Yeah.
You know why it's different? NIL.
Yeah.
Transfer portal. And we're talking college basketball right now, but there's a bunch of football powers that are like right now. Well, hey, wait a minute. This isn't how it used to be. Go when Lebo gets here. Go ask him about Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And if things are the way they used to be. Go check in with your local Alabama fan. I don't know. Say, hey, how things going right now?
Ask Dieter at 8.
They're trying to run their coach out after 1 year. And I understand there are some people that don't like it. It is different. And like even for Kansas, it's different, right? Because there's a long history of Bill Self getting players, even unheralded players, as true freshmen and developing them and turning them into absolute studs.
Oh, quite a long list.
Right, a long history,
yeah.
Right? We'd watch that over and over again. And am I telling you that won't happen ever again? No, but it's increasingly more difficult to do that now. It's just in college basketball. We're just not going to see that very often.
And that trend's been happening because you look at some of the guys that have left after their first year that,
right. But that was something he was really good at.
Absolutely. But it seems like that even before the NIL became what it is now, it seems like he had guys that were leaving after their freshman year, that were just fringe NBA players that were leaving.
And what we're finding is just because you spend a whole bunch of money on a roster, it's just not that easy. It's a crapshoot. Okay, talk about crapshoots. Dennis Gates' first year. How did that go? That's pretty good, right? Pretty good. Then you go back in the transfer portal. How was last year? That was god awful. And then how's this year going? Pretty good. But look how that in the first 3 years. Look at the extremes there, right?
It's a stark contrast.
Okay. K-State.
Yeah.
Year one of Jerome Tang, like, wow. New sheriff in the Big 12. Look at this.
Right.
Last year, was like, huh? Well, oh. This year,
Nightmare.
Good God.
Yeah, it's a nightmare there.
And
right
look
now.
and what did they talk about? How much money they put in that team? Like, oh my God, this is god awful. I'll give you another example. This is supposed to be that things aren't going the way they're supposed to, right? What was one of the biggest hires in the offseason?
Calipari.
This guy's got an unlimited checkbook. Here we go. Look at all the players he's bringing in Arkansas. Huh. There it is. Look at this monster that's going to be woken up. They are 0-4 in the SEC right now. Now, they could turn things around, right? But let me ask you this. Did Arkansas booster anticipate an 0-4 start in the conference, do you think?
No, not at all. Not a chance. Not a chance.
And so what I'm telling you is it's wild, man. Like what was one of the biggest catches in the transfer portal for Kansas? A.J. Storr, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is this what you expected?
No. Nope.
What did Mike DeCourcy say? Nobody knows more about college basketball than Mike DeCourcy. What word did he use? He's baffled.
Yeah.
He's baffled. And guess what? He watched him up close because Mike DeCourcy works for the Big Ten Network, and he knows him well. And so if he says he's baffled, then we should be baffled. And so that I was just elaborating on your point. It's not a defeatist attitude. It's just dealing with what college basketball is
right.
now.
It just feels like that,
Right.
Like,
I get you.
But I mean, I don't think I'm wrong by having that attitude. I don't.
You just got to get used to it because it's different now.
Yes, that's why I'm saying it feels.
It feels like it, but it's not. It's just getting used to what it is now. And honestly, I don't know what the end result is. I don't know where this is going, but it's just different. It's and there's some coaches that are built for it, that are built for the transfer portal and built for the NIL era, and there are some coaches that aren't. There are some coaches that already said, "I'm out." Right? Look at how many big-name college basketball and college football coaches have. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Like, why is he quitting? Oh, okay.
I mean, we've even seen it like the coordinator, the Boston College coach, just left to go be a coordinator.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And look,
Chip Kelly.
And look, if there's ever a coach that's going to make it work, it's Bill Self, right? But it's just different, and I don't know. Like I don't know. Like I can't tell you. Like Iowa State. Sure, Iowa State could win the league, but like I don't like Houston, Arizona. I don't know. And you got new teams in the conference. I didn't even talk about that conference realignment. So it's not even the same conference we're talking about. Teams coming and going and everything else. It's like the sport has totally changed. We just got to wrap our heads around it. And along the way, weird things are going to happen we're not used to. Like Kansas being 2 full games behind 3 different teams right now. It's wild. We'll take a break. Jake said he needs some coffee. We'll take a break and we'll get him some. Back after this on WHB. This is SSJ here to tell you about my friends at Andy's Frozen Custard. I'm always happy to talk about Andy's because it's one of my favorite places to take my family to get a sweet treat. I know Jake likes Andy's too. Jake loves it. Jake is so happy whenever we talk to Andy, my man Andy, about the Chiefs every week, and we talk about what's going on at Andy's Frozen Custard. And look, it's time for the postseason, and you got to get yourself ready because Andy's Frozen Custard has plenty of reasons why you should stop by and see them, because they want to serve the fans of the world's greatest football team. Whether you're celebrating a big win or you're headed to a tailgate, Andy's is the best treat for KC fans. Their frozen custard is made fresh every hour, making it incredibly smooth and creamy. Plus, many of their toppings are baked fresh right in their stores for a truly special experience. And with frozen custard to go, you can get a pick 6 every game. That's right, pick the 6 flavors you want, then celebrate in the end zone. Andy's is also a proud sponsor of Travis Kelce's 87 and Running Foundation. They teamed up with Travis to create a one-of-a-kind treat, the 87 and Running Concrete. It starts with the world's finest vanilla frozen custard, then they spike it with Oreo, cookie dough, and cream caramel. The best part is a portion of the proceeds for every 87 and Running Concrete sold helps support Travis's foundation. So that makes it all worthwhile. While supplies last, get any medium concrete or jackhammer in a Travis Kelce souvenir cup. What? Uh-oh. I better take Susan and the girls. They want that Travis Kelce cup. All right? And if you want one too, you need to go see my friends at Andy's Frozen Custard and tell them SSJ sent you. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Let's check in with a good friend, former Chiefs offensive lineman Joe Valerio. Joe, good morning. How are you?
Hey, Stephen. Good morning. How are you, my friend? It's playoff week. We're finally here after this long-awaited rest week and bye week. And, man, I know that the Chiefs fans are ready for this game and ready to get out there and make it loud for C.J. Stroud. Whoa, I just came up with a rhyme.
Wow,
How
that's a
about
T-shirt.
That just came – right?
Jake is questioning because it's been a while since I've covered a game. Jake thinks I took too much time off and I'll be rusty on Saturday. So it may take me a quarter or two to get back in the groove.
I'm worried about his microphone arm.
He's concerned. But I think the rest helped me.
A little rusty.
And I think I'm going to come back rejuvenated, and you'll see the best of me on Saturday at Arrowhead. And hopefully we'll see the best of the Chiefs. So we'll dig right into it. The question, one of the most talked about questions leading into this game, is who's going to start at left tackle. And we heard Andy Reid yesterday answer the question, and he didn't give any type of hint or clue as to who he's going to start. He said that he's going to rotate him in and out during practice. He didn't say how much or who's going to get the lion's share of the snaps with the first string, but he said that he'd rotate him in. He said he liked what he saw from Joe when he was out there, and liked what he saw from Caliendo. And then he said, but he also liked what he saw from DJ Humphries and the snaps he got from Denver. So Andy said a lot of things without giving any type of real answer. But he did say he's going to rotate him in and out of during practice. And so what would you do? On one hand, you got Joe Thuney, who when he took over at left tackle, you saw the Chiefs go through a very good stretch of games where it looked like the offense was better and Patrick Mahomes was more comfortable, and that included the 27-19 victory over the Houston Texans. Or do you go with DJ Humphries, who is now healthy, who's had a chance to get a little bit more acclimated to the team, and some people feel like with the combination of DJ Humphries and Joe Thuney back at guard, that could unlock the highest ceiling for the Chiefs offense. So, Joe Valerio, what do you do?
I love that question, Stephen, and I'm in the latter camp. I think the Chiefs get more benefit with Joe Thuney at left guard and seeing if DJ can get it done. I like that Andy's rotating them. And first of all, to kind of comment on your comment about what Andy said, why would he, right? Why would he give a defensive coordinator an opportunity to zero in on something, right? I think it's great, very smart coaching and very smart dealing with the media that he would just, kind of be vague on that, because, why give them an opportunity to sort of think about their blitz package and who they're going to put where and who they're going to match up against whom. I think that's a great move on Andy's part. That's a vet move there. But I think the playoffs are about running the ball. The playoffs are about controlling the game. And I think when not that the Chiefs are looking past the Texans. Andy is not the kind of coach that ever looks past. But, when you look down the road, if they can get DJ Humphries ready to play at left tackle in this game, and they have the run game cruising now with Isaiah's going to be, he's going to be almost fully healthy at this point, right, with all this rest that he's had and the rehab and everything, and to be able to use him and Kareem Hunt in tandem. I just think the playoffs are about controlling the ball, running the ball, holding on to the ball, and I think if they're much better with all the inside zone that they run and all the stuff that Isaiah likes to run up the middle, I think and Kareem as well, I think they're just much better with Joe and those tight three inside, and then we'll see how DJ does. And I think, the rotation is smart to see that, hey, if DJ isn't getting it done, there's getting a lot of pressure. Joe's a vet enough. Caliendo has shown enough that he'd be able to jump right in and get those reps and get himself started. That's what I would do. I would start with DJ Humphries at left tackle, Joe at left guard, and go with their normal lineup that they had for most of the season until they had to go to this emergency pattern of O-line play.
Now, clearly, I'll defer to Andy Reid and Andy Heck, but I've been more on board with Joe Thuney at left tackle, so is Jake. But I think if you had to press me and ask me what I think they're going to do, I think there's a good chance they're going to do what you say and go with DJ Humphries and put Tooney back at guard. But those of us that are at least somewhat concerned look at it and think, well, they know they could beat the Texans with Joe Tooney at left tackle. You know that Mahomes was comfortable with him, and it seemed like the offense picked it up a notch with Joe Tooney at left tackle. And DJ Humphries, we didn't see enough of him against the Chargers in that game before he got hurt. And I don't know how much you could take away from his snaps against Denver, considering that wasn't a full cast of regulars and that wasn't the normal offense you would see called. And so how much can you learn about DJ Humphries in the limited time that we've seen him, but the time that they have a chance to work with him in practice? Because they're the ones that have to be comfortable with him. So how much can they actually figure out about DJ Humphries, a guy that didn't play all year, has limited snaps, but they have had a chance to look at him quite a bit in practice the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, I mean he's got obviously the DNA in there and the what I would call muscle memory to be able to do it, right? It's just a matter of over the course of the last several weeks, has he been able to get healthy? Has he been able to get in what I would call better football shape? Going through drills, working one-on-one pass protections, getting a chance to get those reps against Denver live in a full bore situation, which, obviously, look, I give Denver a lot of credit. They came to play, they came to win that game, and they weren't just, rolling over and they were there to play. And regardless of whether or not they knew that they were out of the playoffs or not, I think they showed professional,ism, and I think most of the NFL teams did this year. So, with that said, I think DJ got a good look against some of the Broncos, and some full live. I don't want to be vague, but he lost some and he he won some. I mean, we saw some really good things. I think you started to see his footwork pick up. I think it's a tough position. There were some times where his pass sets looked fantastic. He had great angles. He was using his hands. He was keeping guys away from him. I would say he was probably, I'd give him 65-35 maybe, like 65 good plays, 35% sort of like, hey, boy, we'd like to see a little bit more on that, a little bit more finish. A little bit better footwork, a little bit more hand movement. I think from that perspective, I'd go with that. And that's why I just think that the Chiefs gain a little bit marginally with Joe at left guard on the inside and sort of seeing how, DJ, as long as he's just not an open gate, right? As long as he's just not an open door and Patrick has to be constantly looking over his left shoulder or out of his, the corner of his left eye to see what's coming from that side. I think they gain a little bit more that way. From a talent perspective, is it better when Joe is at left tackle? I agree with you and Jake. Pound for pound, person for person, when Joe's at left and Mike is at left guard, Mike Caliendo, I think they get those are the best players that are out on the field, but I'm just not 100% sure it's the best combination given what the Chiefs are going to need to do in the playoffs, especially in the run game. So that's where I'm torn about. Man, I don't envy the Andys in having to make this decision because you don't get a chance to go full live at practice anymore the way we used to, and it's almost like they're going to have to wait till the game to see how it goes, and that's tough because nobody wants to be second guessing in Monday morning quarterback in that decision. Like, oh man, if they only would have put Joe Tooney at left tackle, what difference it could have made if the Texans come in and upset the Chiefs. So, or they don't have their full offense ready for the next game. Let's say, I'm not saying you throw your helmet out there and win, but let's say we get past the Texans no matter what the combination is. The Ravens-Bills, do they have the best combination going in to that game, and could they have used this game to prepare for that? And that's where coaching is. That's why these guys get paid the big bucks, Stephen.
All right, Joe, tell us how this game's going to play out and give us a prediction, and also give us a prediction for the showdown between Buffalo and Baltimore.
Oh, man, that's going to be – let's start with that because that's look, on paper, that's probably the game of the week. Well, definitely in the AFC for sure. I mean, not that obviously it's not the game of the week for Chiefs fans. They're going to be, diehard Chiefs fans watching their team. But, man, talk about two teams that have been playing really well. When you look at if you rank the Chiefs 1, and the Bills and Ravens 2 and 3, and the Texans the number 4 team that are left, right? It kind of makes sense if you were to look at this as like a March Madness bracket, right? The Chiefs are playing that sort of Cinderella team that kind of snuck into the tourney. The two heavyweights are going to be going at it, and the hope for Chiefs fans obviously get past Texans first, but the hope is that they just beat the living daylights out of each other and tire each other out and just give everything they have to just get past that game. I'm not saying the Chiefs won't have to do that to get past the Texans, but that's going to be a great game. I personally see the Bills coming out ahead on that game. I think they're the ones that are going to be playing in the AFC Championship. I mean, I just think the Bills have so much going right now. But when you look at the Ravens too, that last game they played, they looked almost unbeatable. I mean, with Derrick Henry just rolling right now, I think Lamar Jackson's probably playing his best football that he's played. I just don't know if they'll be able to overcome the team unity that the Bills have. That's the one thing that I see from that Bills team. It's going to be a great game. It could go either way. I personally think the Bills are going to come out on top of that one, but we'll see. On our game, I see the Chiefs winning this game. I don't think the Chiefs are going to score a lot of points. They haven't all year. I think they're going to score probably 27 points. I don't think they'll get to the 30 mark, but they're going to control a lot of the clock. C.J. Stroud, they're going to give him fits. I think the matchup of the game is Steve Spagnuolo against C.J. Stroud, and how a veteran defensive coordinator with championship DNA is going to come at a younger kid who has sort of struggled. I watched a lot of C.J. Stroud this year. My daughter and I had a fantasy football team together we worked on, and we had C.J. Stroud as our quarterbacks. We were pretty low picks, so we wasn't a whole lot left. We were like the number 12 pick in our fantasy league, and so we went with C.J., and I was thinking he was going to have a much better year, and I just don't think he did. And I think Steve Spagnuolo is going to get after him. So I see the Chiefs winning this game, beating the spread. I know the spread started out at 9. It's up there. I think they will win double digits. I think they're going to win probably 27-17. Maybe the Texans don't even score that much. Maybe it's 27-14. I think it's going to be a big win for the Chiefs, regardless who they play at left tackle. And I think they got a lot of pieces, and Andy's unbelievable after these long breaks and buys. So he's going to have this team ready to go.
Joe, it's very good to talk to you, and we look forward, hopefully, to talking to you next week about who the Chiefs are playing in the AFC Championship game.
Sounds like a plan, Steven. Appreciate you, man. Go Chiefs, and playoffs are here. Everybody get ready, and let's get those T-shirts made.
That's right.
Make it loud for C.J. Stroud.
That's exactly right. That's our man, former Chiefs offensive lineman Joe Valerio. We'll be right back after this on WHB. Stephen St. John here for Hy-Vee, and I will be at the Hy-Vee in Gladstone on North Troost tomorrow from 11 until 1 o'clock. So stop by and get ready for game day. You can have all kinds of specials and great deals on Chiefs apparel and all the snacks and the favorite foods that you want for game day, for your watch party or your tailgate at Hy-Vee in Gladstone, right down the street from where my dad lives. And so let me tell you, there's a high probability that Steve St. John Sr. will stop by. He said he has a doctor's appointment at 11, and then he will hurry over there, so probably in the 12 o'clock hour at the Gladstone Hy-Vee on North Troost. So stop by and see me there tomorrow from 11 until 1, because Hy-Vee is your one-stop shop for all things Chiefs as we head to the playoffs and chase that three-peat. They got everything you need to cheer on the Chiefs during the playoffs. A huge selection of official Chiefs apparel and party supplies, endless tailgate and watch party food options, wings, ready-to-bake pizza, freshly prepared dips, party trays, all of it. The bakery has some fun Chiefs-themed cookies and cakes. And don't forget the Hy-Vee Wine and Spirits Department. And don't forget to come and see me at Hy-Vee in Gladstone tomorrow from 11 until 1 right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Welcome back to the show. Coming up, we'll talk to Jeremy Fowler from ESPN, Adam Kaplan, Gary Dieter, and Anthony Sherman will be in studio with us, and Jesse Newell from the Kansas City Star. Football, football, football. But as Jake said, let's sprinkle in some basketball here. This is my fault. I fumbled it. We talked extensively about Mizzou's victory over Florida yesterday. We just spent the entire first segment talking about KU's loss to Iowa State last night. But despite me spending time talking about the flagrant 2 foul that was called against Tony Perkins,
No pun intended,
that led to his ejection from the game and turned the game around, really, because I thought Missouri was about to put the game away. I think it was they had an 11-point lead, and they had the ball. And so then that play, they called it intentional contact to the groin, led to his ejection and gave them a couple of free throws and possession. And I didn't think it was intentional, and that was my problem with it. Was it a foul? Okay, maybe. I don't think it was intentional. I don't think he should have been thrown out of the game. But Mizzou beat Florida and beat the refs anyway. I did not catch this comment from Dennis Gates talking about that play, and so I apologize. But better late than never. And also, I've instructed Jake to turn this into a new day with SSJ liner in some fashion. Here's Dennis Gates addressing the situation.
I thought Tony Perkins' situation was a little bit basketball move but the referees thought otherwise. If he hit him in the nuts, he hit him in the nuts. Out. Next man up, right? I thought.
That's right. That's exactly right. Anyone that's ever coached knows that.
These nuts. Got him.
That's a steadfast rule.
Got him.
Play it again.
I thought Tony Perkins' situation was a little bit basketball move, but the referees thought otherwise. If he hit him in the nuts, he hit him in the nuts. Out. Next man up, right?
Right.
I
Exactly.
Nuts. Hot nuts. You get around a peanut man. Yeah, 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 yeah. Nuts. Hot nuts. You get them anywhere you
little bit basketball move, but the referees thought otherwise. If he hit him in the nuts, he hit him in the nuts.
He's trying to clear some space is all. That's all he was doing. You know?
You know what? You can grab some guys' nuts if you want.
That's Nate.
No, it's a flagrant 2. You can't do that.
It wasn't intentional. It was not intentional, I don't think. But they called it and he was ejected. Dennis Gates gave the right answer. And that's it. Now we close the book on that. We shall return with Jeremy Fowler from ESPN. We'll be right back after this on WHB.
Otherwise, if he hit him in the nuts, he hit him in the nuts.
What's up, Kansas City? Jake Gutierrez here, and I'm here to tell you about Pick 6 from DraftKings. It's awesome. The playoffs are here. NFL playoffs are here, and time is running out. But as the official fantasy sports partner of the NFL, DraftKings does fantasy sports like no one else. Play for better payouts on Pick 6. You unfamiliar with Pick 6? Well, it's super easy to do. All you do is select 2 or more players. They're going to give you a stat, and all you have to do on that stat is say more or less. It's that simple. Pick 6 is fun. It's available, including states like Missouri. So you can go download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and get started. Games are coming up this weekend. It's a lot of fun, and it's easy to win. Pick 6 customers play $5, and you're going to get $50 for new customers. Pick 6 is awesome. You can get $50 in Pick 6 credits with a $5 play. You can win more cash on Pick 6. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use code 810WHB. That's code 810WHB. And it's for new customers. You play $5 and you're going to get $50 in Pick 6 credits. It's so simple. They're hooking you up. What are you waiting for? It's the NFL playoffs. It's Pick 6 from DraftKings. It's a no-brainer. Go do it. $5 will get you $50 in Pick 6 credits. And it's only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 30 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.